Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we'll explore what Der Klown is. One of the most grotesque, chilling, and memorable monsters from Michael Dougherty's 2015 film Krampus is Der Klown, also known as the giant Jack-in-the-Box. This monster serves as a secondary antagonist in the movie's plot and one of Krampus's most dangerous and loyal helpers. Additionally, it is incredibly difficult to defeat, with implications that it is nearly invincible due to its fascinating origins, its terrifying nature, and its ability to consume multiple adults quickly and effortlessly. It is regarded as one of Krampus's best helpers and one of the most iconic and memorable characters. That's why, in this video, I will thoroughly explain the known origins of Der Klown from Krampus. To do so, I'll summarize its role in the movie. Then, I'll describe its physical appearance, what we know about its personality and behavior, as well as its incredible abilities and known weaknesses. After that, I'll discuss the movie's production process and how the team of conceptual artists and director Michael Dougherty created this iconic monster for the film. Der Klown's story is fascinating and begins when Max, disillusioned with Christmas, tears up his letter to Santa Claus, in which he wished for his family to be united and happy as they once were. This act, combined with the selfish and anti-Christmas behavior of the Engel family and the community at large, summons Krampus. Krampus arrives in the town with a harsh and freezing snowstorm, which is heavily implied to have been deadly. On the first night, Krampus and his helpers, including Der Klown, seemingly wiped out many people, such as those living in the town and the boyfriend of Beth's family, whom they captured and took to the underworld. This explains why, the following morning, the neighborhood is eerily empty, and outside the Engel family's house, there's only a macabre snowman and a bag of toys. Later that day, when Beth doesn't hear back from her boyfriend Derek, who isn't answering her messages, she asks her parents for permission to visit his house, just a few blocks away. Her parents agree, as long as she returns by a specific time. They mainly let her go, because it's close by and still daylight. As Beth walks through the snowstorm, it grows increasingly intense and violent until it resembles more of a blizzard than an ordinary snowstorm. The sky darkens significantly due to the storm, and everything around her becomes engulfed in shadow. She notices a silhouette atop a nearby house, and, upon closer inspection, realizes the figure has horns and a demonic appearance. Frightened, Beth watches as the shadow, revealed to be Krampus, leaps brutally onto a nearby rooftop. This prompts her to run and try to escape, but Krampus pursues her with incredible agility, jumping across the rooftops. Beth then comes across a delivery truck that often stops at her house. When she tries to enter, she finds the driver completely frozen. Desperate, she hides under the truck. Moments later, Krampus lands near her and begins circling the vehicle, clearly aware of her presence, though he doesn't immediately find her. He then tosses a small Jack-in-the-Box toy onto the ground, which contains Der Klown. The creature eventually emerges and captures Beth in a chilling manner, leaving her unable to escape. It is implied that Der Klown grows supernaturally before consuming Beth. Hours pass, and when Beth doesn't return, her parents, Tom and Sarah, grow worried. Tom and Howard decide to search for her using Howard's off-road truck. Omi, the family's Austrian grandmother, warns the men not to go, but they ignore her and proceed. They eventually come across a snowplow that has been abandoned, with only presents left inside. Howard arms himself with his shotgun and lends Tom a pistol. The two men then enter Beth's boyfriend's house, which is frozen over, with ram-like tracks on the floor, and looks abandoned, as though no one had been there in months. However, Tom finds the situation suspicious, knowing it shouldn't be that way. When they hear a scream outside, they rush to investigate and encounter a monster lurking beneath the snow. This creature savagely attacks Howard, shaking him violently. While the creature isn't shown directly, it is clear that it is Der Klown. The monster begins dragging Howard under the snow, nearly taking him, but Tom intervenes and helps him. Howard, in pain and claiming the creature is biting him, prompts Tom to use his pistol to shoot at the monster beneath the snow. This stuns the creature, causing it to retreat quickly back underground. When the men try to return to Howard's truck, they realize it has been destroyed, so they decide to walk back to the house. Once they arrive, Howard notices that the bite has caused him a severe and deep wound. Later, after Omi shares her story about Krampus and how she encountered him during her childhood, we see that the storm continues the next day and has worsened. Linda and Sarah go up to the attic. It's here that Linda notices one of the gifts making noise. However, Sarah stops her from opening it, so they decide to leave. Curiously, after they leave the room, the gifts begin to shake and move, as if something alive is inside them. Some time later, when Stevie and Jordan go upstairs to find another bathroom, since the one downstairs is clogged because of Aunt Dorothy, they hear Beth's voice in the darkness, calling out to them. As they listen carefully, they realize the voice is coming from the attic. Since it's Beth's voice, and she's calling them by name, they decide to go up to see if Beth is hiding there and ask her when she returned. That's when they come face to face with Klown, who attacks them and brutally devours one of the boys quickly. Upon hearing their screams, the adults rush to the second floor and look into the attic, only to see Klown finishing off Jordan. Tom shoots at Klown, and the creature quickly escapes, crawling into an air duct. Since Klown begins moving through all the ducts in the house, Max gets the idea to send the dog into the air ducts to scare the living Jack-in-the-Box and force it out so the adults can take it down with their weapons. Unfortunately, the dog stands no chance against the supernatural beast and is also quickly devoured. At this point, the ceiling collapses and Klown falls through, now larger and fatter than before. Additionally, the other living killer toys, like Perkta the doll and the living teddy bear, fall with the creature and begin attacking the family directly. However, Linda quickly takes them down with her shotgun. Interestingly, before they are completely defeated, Krampus's evil elves arrive and attack everyone. Then, in a humorous moment, one of the elves gives the living Jack-in-the-Box a big hug, calming it down slightly. Shortly after, the elves use their chains to drag the monster away from the house and out of the dangerous area, along with some remaining members of the family. Later, outside the house, the creature subdues Sarah, Tom, and Linda, attacking them directly and dragging them under the snow, where it moves with ease. This is the last time we see Klown, along with the evil elves and Krampus, when a portal to hell is opened, and they prepare to return to their domain. At this moment, Klown is seen celebrating in a macabre manner. Finally, at the end of the movie, in the scene before the credits, we see Klown appear alongside the other killer toys and Krampus's helpers. This is where Klown's story concludes, showing that, in the end, he survived and remains the most dangerous and skilled monster after Krampus himself. Now that we've covered all this in detail, I want to talk about Klown's physical appearance, what we know about his personality and behavior, and explain his incredible abilities and weaknesses. I'll also discuss the film's production and how this monster was created. Klown is a unique, terrifying, and chilling creature, as he resembles a gigantic Jack-in-the-Box. He is much larger than his box, which he carries with him as if it were part of his body. The creature has a long body made of a type of thick white fabric, with some pinkish accents, giving it a bit of contrast. The most terrifying and notable feature of the monster is its head and face. The creature wears a jester hat on its head, with 3 Christmas-style bells, belonging to Krampus, and it dons a classic old-fashioned gray clown suit, very similar to the grotesque and terrifying Pennywise from the 2017 and 2019 remakes. The creature's face is covered by a porcelain mask, which is white in color. Interestingly, the mask is humanoid, featuring 2 ears, a nose, and cheeks. The mask is also decorated like a clown's face, with classic makeup. It is not revealed what lies beneath the mask, although we can see the creature's two glowing black eyes. Fans have theorized that underneath the mask, the creature lacks distinct features and is simply a grotesque, amorphous pink mass with its mouth and eyes. Concept art also reveals that the creature has humanoid arms ending in white gloves, enhancing its clown-like appearance. The mask can open both horizontally and vertically at the lower part, allowing it to reveal its enormous mouth and jaws. Inside its mouth, Der Klown has multiple rows of sharp teeth, giving it a uniquely terrifying appearance. Despite being a terrifying monster, Der Klown is generally a very cheerful character, albeit in a twisted way. It has a rather comical and enthusiastic personality, but with a demonic twist. This can be seen when it tries to escape after devouring Jordan. Before leaving, it wipes its mouth and then appears desperate and frightened as it attempts to crawl into the ventilation ducts. Amusingly, when it realizes the dark elves have arrived to rescue it, it becomes very happy and claps with excitement. Additionally, when attacking the family, it welcomes one of these elves with a strong hug, showcasing its somewhat childlike nature. Interestingly, it gets very excited when Krampus prepares to leave and looks thrilled before climbing onto Krampus's sleigh. Curiously, when the portal to the underworld opens, it gazes at it with a mix of awe and fear. All of this shows that Der Klown is a unique character with a more childlike and innocent personality, but one that is twisted, terrifying, and demonic. Der Klown possesses incredible abilities that make it a true threat to anyone who encounters it. First and foremost, it has superhuman physical strength despite its seemingly soft, fabric-like appearance. This allows it to overpower its victims and devour them with relative ease. It can also use its tail to strike its victims, rendering them unconscious after hurling them through the air. It is implied that the tail is also used to capture and suffocate its prey. The fact that its mouth can open in such an exaggerated and grotesque way allows Der Klown to seize its prey with its mouth and devour them completely. Der Klown has quite an impressive speed. Despite his large size, he can move very quickly in almost any environment, especially if he hasn't eaten much beforehand. In the snow, he can move swiftly, stealthily, and agilely, being almost imperceptible until it's too late for his victims. He possesses considerable intelligence, as seen when he uses the ducts to escape and avoids directly confronting the Engel family alone inside the house. Finally, his most chilling ability is that he can speak and mimic the voices of his previous victims. He primarily uses this skill to lure prey into traps. It is also implied that he grows in size, thanks to the supernatural powers of Krampus, making him a colossal being, larger than the average adult human. Der Klown's only weaknesses are that, once he eats too much, he becomes slow, clumsy, and vulnerable. Additionally, hard surfaces like the house's floors prevent him from moving as nimbly. Due to his behavior when facing weapons and his organic mouth, it's believed that he is vulnerable, like the other helpers of Krampus, to conventional attacks such as gunfire and heavy blows. This is why he prefers to flee when someone aims a weapon at him. To create the character of Der Klown, director Michael Dougherty collaborated with the legendary special effects studio Weta Workshop, who helped design all the monsters seen in the film. Initially, Dougherty sketched several designs for the creature and Krampus, which were both frightening and enormous. The first sketch of the creature was made on a napkin while Dougherty was at a restaurant and saw a clown ornament that inspired him. Later, this sketch was transferred to a sheet of paper and refined over time with the help of conceptual artists. Initially, Der Klown was given a more classic design, resembling wood and being slightly more macabre. However, this was gradually modified into a porcelain figure-like appearance. Later, the creature's mouth was designed to open in a highly exaggerated and grotesque way. At one point, There were plans for the creature to have legs on the sides of its body to help it move better, but this idea was quickly discarded. Another interesting aspect is that the body of Der Klown was intended to glow red and orange, with his victims visible inside, struggling to escape. However, this concept was ultimately scrapped because it was deemed less frightening to show the victims still alive after being swallowed. Lastly, Doherty considered showing the creature without its mask, but decided against it, as he felt the character was more macabre and terrifying with the porcelain clown mask. Der Klown was created entirely with practical effects, including a fully functional animatronic head. Additionally, the character was portrayed by several stunt performers, depending on the sequence. Brett Beatty played the role during the most physically demanding and dangerous scenes, such as when Der Klown was thrown or fell from the roof. The creature was also portrayed by puppeteer and stunt actress Imogen Stone during more refined movements, like when he gets excited about being rescued and starts clapping. It's also worth noting that a lot of fake slime was used for the creature during scenes where he opens his mouth. In some sequences, stunt performers Emily Stone and Tanya Drury acted as the creature's body and as his victims inside it, writhing and attempting to escape in a brutal manner. This gave the monster's body a grotesque, bulbous, and amorphous appearance, making it all the more terrifying. And that's everything we know about the character Der Klown from the entertaining Christmas horror movie Krampus. Honestly, I love this monster, and he's my favorite among Krampus's helpers. However, my favorite monster in the film is still Krampus himself. I adore Der Klown's design because it's incredibly creepy, with those black eyes beneath the porcelain mask and his mouth filled with sharp, monstrous teeth. I love how, like Krampus's other helpers, this being is part organic and part toy. I think this concept is one of the most grotesque and terrifying aspects of the character. Honestly, I wish this creature had appeared more in the film, but I still enjoyed his role very much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Were you already familiar with Krampus? Did you know his story, origins, and how he was created for the film? And finally, what do you think Der Klown's face would look like without his mask? Share your answers to these questions and your overall opinion about the terrifying clown monster, Der Klown from the entertaining movie Krampus. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please share it to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos.